Yes guys, welcome to the YouTube. This is the first video I've done since show days, really, yeah. Two Bros was last Saturday. We'll probably have like a bit of a deeper chat when I'm sat down, and I'll have a bit of like a post-show thoughts kind of talk. But right now it is Saturday. What date is it?
11th of October.
It's the 11th of October. I'm currently exactly 5 weeks out from Two Bros Denmark. So I was going to do Bradford next weekend, but I don't think we're doing it, just because I can fully focus on Denmark. And that will probably be my last show of the season, and it will be the first pro qualifier I'm doing. It will probably be the last chance to turn pro. There is Spain after that, but to be honest, I feel like I'm going to take it in Denmark. I feel like I'm going to bring my best for Denmark, and then I feel like we'll take what I want there. So we're evolved now. We're hitting legs. Training has been a hell of a lot better this past week, where I've had a bit of a reset. I've had more food, still been doing quite a lot of cardio, but I needed a bit more food. I needed a bit of a reset for Denmark, because I had obviously 6 weeks since coming off stage at the Two Bros, and 6 weeks is a good amount of time, but you haven't got to rush. Like I wasn't rushing before, but like where I put the turbos on and dropped a lot of fat quite fast, then I was a little bit unwell between shows. I just needed a reset to make sure the body is fresh. The mind is fresh. We had a few wobbles post Two Bros, not in terms of, I wouldn't call it a wobble. I don't know what you would call it. It was just a few like, do I pull out at prep? Do I just off season? Do I do Denmark? And I've decided to fully send it and go for Denmark and bring inside out of condition. So
I think you get in that headspace though when you're in a show, and it's only until when you're deep in prep, you're always going to have them little bits of self-doubt sometimes, or am I doing this, or should I just carry on and do an off-season like that? That's completely normal.
yeah, but that's the first time I'd had that.
Yeah.
I hadn't felt like that on prep the whole way, and then after the PCA I felt great, but then I was ill. Then had the Two Bros, then did the supers and weren't really my best again, because again I need more condition. So I just need to make sure that I bring my best for Denmark, regardless of whether that's enough to win my class and the pro card. My aim this year is to be inside out. My aim obviously is to turn pro, but I need to get inside out to be able to do that. And I've got enough time now to do that. Obviously I want a lot better starting position next prep, and that's probably what I was thinking, like why don't I just go again, start, like if I've got to this point looking as lean as I got on the Thursday morning check-ins, the ones that Bodybuilding Without Borders reposted like that, I'm happy with those photos. They're the best photos I've ever done. If I can get to there from a pre-average starting position, which it was, imagine what I could do with like a 50% better starting position. So that's what I was thinking, like do I go again next year? But to be honest, I'm now 5 weeks out from Denmark, 4 weeks of gaining condition, 1 week to peak and relax into the show. So basically got 4 weeks of hard work. So why not? Why not go for it and finish the job is what it's called. We're outside of, we're gonna go and hit legs now. I'm gonna full send legs because I'm on a little bit more food. Training's been a hell of a lot better. So yeah, I'm excited for this leg session, absolutely bury myself, and then we'll chill out tonight, watch the rest of Olympia. Samson is not looking like he's gonna get first. Even though the other day there's probably a clip in the car of us talking and we was going to train legs, but we didn't end up filming any leg stuff. So I'm gonna carry on talking about what I was saying in that clip, because obviously now that the Olympia weekend is over, so I want to kind of give my reviews and thoughts on Olympia with Tony. Tony can give her a couple of her thoughts. Yeah, because she's driving at the moment because my car's battered. But it doesn't bother me because I always drive, to be honest, and it's nice to be able to do this and then like whilst she's driving. So my thoughts on the Olympia. Listen, the short of it, Samson's chased condition and suffered for it massively. I don't think he can ever get that condition that Derek and Hadi have. Don't know why, what the reason is for that. Probably because we've never seen it. and he probably does everything that you should do to get it, and it's ended up looking worse for it this year. He's lost his fullness, lost his pop. To slip down to 4th, you know, I know that the other 3 boys were good, but you know, Andrew's really good. He was a lot more conditioned than Samson as well, and I've never seen that conditioning from Andrew from the rear, which was really nice to see. So yeah, listen, let's just more so talk about top 5. Beyond that, you know, we're going to be here ages, but top 5, obviously Nick was out of the top 5, as I would expect. Wouldn't really put him above that ever. Martin was really good and has a lot of potential. Shape, size, thickness, condition, balance, very, very smooth. And then Samson obviously 4th, yep. Sometimes I'd actually say I maybe had Martin over Samson, just with how off Samson was that day and how on Martin was. Then obviously Andrew looked fantastic, the best package he's ever brought. If he comes in ever at 100% in terms of like, I think he was probably at like, he was very close to elite, like he was obviously elite level condition, but like, I'm talking like Derek's glutes, Hattie's straighted chest, inside out, peeled quads. You know what I'm saying? If Andrew gets that and continues to bring up that hamstring on the side shot and the thickness on the rear shot in the lower body, it's lights out for every single man on that stage. Andrew is the biggest on that stage. He made Samson look, dare I say, not that big in some shots. And he definitely beat Samson from the rear on that day, on those days. And then Haddie, I think Haddie was good. Haddie come out looking a lot better in finals. People are putting up photos crying, saying, oh, how did Derek beat him? Listen, Derek was way better than him in pre-judging. The judges giving him more points in pre-judging than they gave Haddie in finals. Haddie clawed it back a little bit, but obviously it was a little bit too late by that point. Are those results fair? Yeah, definitely, absolutely. Then you've got the classic boys. I think Mike suffered dropping at 14 pounds. I think anyone does. I mean, to look as good as he still did, dropping that much weight in a short period of time is absurd. Like, how anyone can look that good after going through that is beyond me. Ramon was on. It was a toss-up. Me personally, I thought Ruff was absolutely incredible. That's the best posing routine I've ever seen in my life. Everything about it, the flow, it's just absolutely, it was majestical. And I thought physique wise, you know, Ruff's issue is his height and his size. He can't really seem to get much bigger at that height. The other boys carry a lot more, slightly more tissue in the right areas. They've got more pop. But in terms of actual classic physique, I think Ruff, if he'd have been given first, I wouldn't have been upset. But I can see why the judges end up giving it to top 2, Ramon or Mike. And then obviously you got One Punch top 5 and Josma. Josma is the most conditioned guy I've seen at the whole show. That guy's conditioning, he's like 23, 24 years old. That guy's condition is off the charts. You can't get any leaner than that. And One Punch, fantastic top 5 for my old coach, my only ever coach, Cal. That's his best ever achievement. Cal is literally top 3 coaches in the world. I would say that to anyone. Although my prep experiences with him weren't fantastic, I stand by him and what I've learned from him, and I stand by him with his results with his Olympians and pros. He's top 3 coach. When he's on his game and you're getting everything from him that you need, he is top 3, if not the best coach in the world, in my opinion. So I'm very happy for Cal on One Punch, obviously. And then physique, I thought Ali looked really good. I just think, listen, Ryan is like the smallest guy on that stage. They're obviously preferring that smaller, tighter look in men's physique now, and that might change in 2 or 3 years. You go back to the big boys with massive shoulders. Ali can beat Ryan. It's just a case of if and when, but Ryan looks on, and fair play to Ryan for taking it home. So that's my thoughts. That's my rundown of the Olympia. What does Samson do from here? He's 40, I think he's 39. He's 40 next year, if I'm not incorrect. Where does he go from here? Does he get better from here? Because if you think of it like this, last year as well, and like, I don't want to sound, I don't know what the word is, but like Derek and Hadi were off last year. If Samson brings the same as last year, but Derek and Hadi and Andrew are absolutely peeled, does he win Mr. Olympia? Maybe not. So did he win last year? One, because that was his best, but two, the other boys were off. Yeah, it helped that the other boys were off. This year they were on, and he's obviously come fourth, but obviously he was worse. He's got to play his own game in terms of the fullness and the size, but can he ever get inside out? I don't know. I don't think so, because I think we would have seen it. So and obviously age is creeping up, so where do we see Samson come back? I hope so. I would, someone said to me, one of my clients, Charles, said to me, what would you do between now, pre-judging and finals? It's like, well, there's not much, sometimes there's not much you can do. Has the hole been dug too much? Has he chased so much condition that he's completely wiped and he's not filling up properly? Is it a fluid? Is it a sodium issue? Generally, fullness is not a food issue. It's more, I think he's used a diuretic the way that he was fading. All these boys, you love a diuretic at the top. I used it for my first show for the first time ever to play around with it, and I will never use it again. I think they're absolutely terrible. And all these boys at Olympia, they love it. Whereas someone that was on, I want to mention, 212, obviously Kean won. Sean Clarida, that's the best I've ever seen him in the last 3 or 4 years. And he's coaching with John, and he wouldn't have been using diuretics because John don't use them. So fair play to John and Sean as well. So yeah, I hope Samson comes back, but how many years has he got left in him? Derek is like 32. Hadi's getting on a bit. Derek can probably keep somewhat improving. I thought Derek's legs were massively improved size-wise, and it seems that even though Andrew's getting to the later end of his career, it seemed that the changes he made, he's improved, so it is possible. So I hope Samson comes back. I know he's going to be feeling gutted, but I'm glad that he did win Mr. Olympia last year and he achieved his dream, because he deserves it. Everything that he's got, all the Gymshark, all the sponsorships, he deserves it, because he's an amazing man, and him and his wife are lovely, and they deserve everything good that's come to them and that they've worked for the last 10-15 years. I just feel like maybe needs a little bit more right. He needs the management. So when I look at Sean looked terrible last year, the worst he's ever looked. Now look at Sean this year with the right management. He's only been with John Jewett like 6 weeks. Look at the changes he made. He pushed Keon to a point where I actually had Sean winning some shots at pre-judging compared to Keon. Obviously you can't beat Keon's shape, but the condition, the graininess, the density of his rear and side shots was absolutely incredible. So it goes to show, with the right eyes and the right knowledge, you can always improve, even if you are 38, 39, 40. So I think Samson needs that. That's my honest opinion. Anyway, we're on the way to factory now. First time training at factory for a while. I've got push. What are we, 33 days out? 33, I think, because it's on the Saturday, the show, and we're basically 5 weeks minus 2 days. It's 33 days. I've pulled Tren 5 days ago because it was affecting my REM sleep, because I was doing some meditation one morning and I was drifting off during my meditation, and I've been tired, and I don't like feeling like that, and my sleep's been absolutely amazing the whole way. So even though I was only doing 50 mg a week, I've pulled it, and I'll put it back in 2 weeks out just for the cosmetic effect. I haven't been on any orals this week, but I've just put in 25 mg of Advar, 25 mg Winstrol pre-workout, and I'll run that and I'll taper that up close to the show. And then, like I said, I'll put trend back in. No other changes to stack design. Basically, we've got 4 weeks getting condition and then 1 week to peak. I think it worked out to be like 24 to 28 days condition, and then that gives me 6 days to peak minimum. But I'd like about 10 days because I'd like to start pushing food back up, 10 days out and try and hold body weight and just increase that fullness and hardness without scale weight going up too much. And I think I can do that. If I can get onto like 400, 500 gram of carb holding my scale weight, I know that I can make weight to get into the heavies and I'm not going to be coming in flat on stage. And then I'll literally just have like a slow, a linear load for like 10 days and just hold, add a bit more, hold, add a bit more, hold. And then I'll be able to step on stage at my absolute best in 33 days. So that's what we're going to do, all right? I will get some clips at the gym. We've got push today. This is the first push at factory since they've got the new equipment. So prime pec deck, prime shoulder press. I might do some incline barbell today because why not? And make like a new routine. Are we coming down here some Mondays or once a week now?
Yeah, I think so.
We're going to aim to come down here once a week just to use the equipment and have one push session here and then one at Evolve. So yeah, we'll see you at the gym. Alright guys, so coming at you here with some training footage of factory. We did our first push session there on Monday with the new equipment. So prime pec deck to start with. I didn't record every single exercise, but I got the majority of the chest and the shoulder work. So we started with a prime pec deck, did like 2 working sets. Not even going to bother running through all the loading and stuff like that, obviously because you're going to adjust the resistance profile. Today's session I was just getting in and out. I don't even know what it was set on. It just felt good. It wasn't loaded in the lengthened. I think it probably loaded in the short. Then I actually moved into some incline barbell. Doing like a bit of a feeder set here, and then I just did one top set as well. Just getting a feel for it. Like, I'll probably run this up in off season. We haven't got an incline at Evolve, so it was nice to use the barbell here. I don't like flat barbell just because of the pec tear situation that every meathead seems to eventually end up having. And I've got a little bit of an imbalance with my right pec, where my right pec is not as strong into the tendon as my right front delt, so I've got to be careful. So I always do flat dumbbell or incline dumbbell, but incline barbell here should be good for the off season. And I'm going to put this in every Monday from now, even though body weight's coming down. This is 120 here, and I think I left a rep or 2 in reserve, just to be a bit more on the safe side. But the reps were moving nicely, control down, control up. I wasn't bouncing out the bottom. That's a lot of things that people do when they do terapec or something, is because they're not controlling that eccentric down, or they're just using a load that's too heavy. Then we move into, I did some close grip flat barbell, which again is not much strain on the pec tendon because obviously it's a closer grip, so it's not at the same angle as you'd have your arms if your arms were like a normal grip. And again, I need to build my triceps. I think the Smith was taken, so I just did them on here because I couldn't be asked to wait. These felt quite cushy. I did a feeder set and then I did like a set to failure here. And then I believe we moved on to side raises. 3 or 4 sets here just to get some blood in the side delt. Nothing crazy, I just like to generally hit side delts before I press. Arsenal strength side lateral was quite good here, and I just finished with a few partials at the end of most sets to be honest. And then we moved into the prime shoulder press. This is one of my favourite presses for shoulders ever. Obviously it's towards the back end of the session, so it's very heavy, but the angle of it takes a lot of, you will feel a little bit of upper pec, but where it presses behind you slightly, you get that activation of the medial head of the delt as well. Whereas usually shoulder presses are a little bit in front. This kind of goes up and back. So I'm going to run this up in off season as well. Little spot off Tony there, just to get that last rep. Probably could have got another false one, but not worth it at this current stage. Yes, people. How are we? The first ghost in the UK that I'm having. Just had meal one. And we're going to sit down together now and have a chat about post-show, how everything's gone so far, and then kind of obviously the plan of action. I've spoke briefly about Denmark. Let me just crank this open and see. See, this is 16 calories, right? The ones in Dubai were either 5 or 10. So it's obviously made different straight off the bat. This is not the Sour Patch Blue. Well, it's good though. Oh. I'll give it an 8. The Sour Patch, I'll give it a 9. Anyway. Right, so where are we? We haven't really caught up too much since. Obviously, you've seen the show day videos for PCA. And then the two bros. So, like, I just want to give a rundown of what's gone on. Just obviously, if you've seen those videos, you know what happened in terms of placings. But you know, I want to share my thoughts on the situation. And so far, like, I'll be honest, like this last, right, let me go up to the PCA, right? 3 days out from the PCA, the fasted check-ins that I put up that got reposted by Bodybuilding Without Borders, I look at those and I'm happy with those. A few more kilos of condition off that and I'm inside out. And that's a very good look, right? So I haven't beaten that yet because I did a peak for the PCA, which was just wild, heavily carb, and then used the diazide, which I wanted to do just in case I ever want to use it with clients, because I don't like to give people something that I've not done myself. It's just about experiencing stuff, isn't it? But I now know, and I knew anyway that it wasn't going to work. I probably carved up way too heavily. Diazide didn't really, it did its job, but by that time it was already messed up. I was coming from such a depleted state. I was holding a lot of water. Me personally, if I'd have come in looking how I looked Thursday morning, probably would have won that PCA. A lot of coaches have said to me, you probably would have taken the overall. But I'm not that bothered. It was the first show. I got a second, whatever. And the guy that beat me in class on the day deserved to win because I was hella watery. Then I got ill for like a week, antibiotics, my weight was holding. So I was fighting a battle of trying to get into the heavyweight cap. Even though I was maybe leaning up a little bit, the antibiotics were holding a lot of scale weight. So like my weight was like 103 and I have to be 102 in the evening. So you'd probably have to be waking up at like 99, 98 to be safe the morning of the weigh-in, which just wasn't happening. So I was like, right, let's just full send the supers. I loaded into that. I ate a decent amount, but didn't spill. I think I probably still had 1,500 carb across 2 days. And that was a better look than the PCA, is what people have said to me. And yeah, but because it was in a lineup of supers, I think I got first call outs, but I got like 8th at that show, I think, because I got moved out to the side because they realised the condition's not great. But to get first call outs at first sight in the supers, you know, that's a win. And I said to Tony, as long as I get first call outs today, I'm still not at my best. I've been ill for a week. My body's been holding water. That's not a bad result. Against some of the best supers that are trying to turn pro this year, I didn't feel small. And that's not even my class. Well, it is and it isn't. You know, I'm on the cusp. So then I didn't decide to do the PCA British because, again, and I spoke to the winner actually after. I said, you look fantastic. He was leaner than me. PCA are going to choose condition all day long, and those guys up there at the British were more conditioned than me, and I knew that doing the two bros Saturday that there's going to be guys that are more conditioned because I'm still not 100% yet. So for me, it's been a bit of a like roller coaster because I keep saying I'm not at 100%, and it ain't nice to keep going up on stage. Although the shows are close-ish together, bar this Denmark one, yeah, I should have been ready earlier condition-wise, I believe. And maybe, but when you actually look at the fasted check-ins 3 days out from PCA, I probably made it. Like not 100% condition, but enough to do well. And then kind of with the messed up peak, then with the illness, I lost 7 to 10 days with the illness. In terms of visually, not in terms of how I felt all right after the medication, but my stomach was bloated. I didn't want to take photos. I didn't want to train. So that's a bit of a weird one. That throws you off and you feel like you're still suffering on prep, doing all this work, cardio, dieting. I was eating like 1,400 calories and my stomach was bloated. So I was like 8 months pregnant. That's not a nice feeling because you feel like you're doing so much and you're getting nothing. So I was like, I ain't gonna stress about it. I'm not one to have anxiety about things I cannot control. That's in the past. I don't do that anymore. It is what it is. People get ill on prep, things happen, people have to pull out, family stuff goes on, you know. I've gone through a lot this prep. I lost my grandma, a little bit of an illness, but actually my immune system's been really good. So actually, the prep itself, I've not had too many obstacles. Obviously losing my grandma being the obstacle of prep, but that's fired me on. So like, I'm just sick of keep going up there and not being my best. So I'm not going to do Bradford this Saturday because there's no point, because I'd rather focus on bringing my final form for 7 to 10 days out from Denmark. I rung JT yesterday, the owner of Two Bros, one of the owners. I voice noted him, he rung me. I said, he made me laugh. He was basically saying, you're not ready for Bradford. And I was like, yeah, but I knew that when I come off stage at Grays. If you see the trailer on Instagram for the YouTube, you'll see me say, I'm going for Denmark now in 6 weeks' time. I'm not here. I do actually say in that video, I'll do Bradford as a hurdle. But then after like a few days, I was like, what's the point of doing Bradford? You're going to lose another 5 days fat loss because you're going to load into that show. Then you're going to potentially have a fat meal out with the family after. I said, there's no point. So we're going to go spectate our friend Soph and watch her in the morning and then train up there and then probably just come back. We're not going to watch the bodybuilding because it's not on till like 5 p.m. and the pro show's 7:30 at night. It's in Bradford. I'm in bed by 9, do you know what I mean? So we'll probably leave Bradford at like 3. Get home for like 7 and you're all cushy, do you know what I'm saying? Go to bed on time, wake up Sunday, do my cardio, and I'm busy for the day. So, and we supported our friend. So, listen, I want to touch on this as well, like I nearly pulled out. Not because my body's not responding or I'm unhealthy. My health's fantastic. Had my bloods done a week out from the first show. And that's another good thing about why I've been so smart this prep with drug use and being patient, because I've got another 5 weeks till Denmark. If my body was at the rev limiter and I'd used all the orals and I'd used Tren from too far out, my body wouldn't respond to being able to get lean and being healthy for the Denmark. So I've done well there, managing that. So that's a positive. And I always knew it would be. So I knew the season might end up being long. I always had Denmark and potentially Spain in my sights. So yeah, we're not doing Bradford. We're going to keep pushing. From to the time of this video, I believe I have 32 days, which is 7, 14, 21, 28. That's 4.5 weeks. I will aim to be ready. So say from, let's just say it's Tuesday today. Let's just say from Monday, you've got 1, 2, 3. We've got 3.5 weeks to get, 3.5 to 4 weeks max to get peeled, which from here can be done without stressing. I've bumped my food back up to around 2.6. Last week was 2.8 and then I've dropped it slightly. Rest days, I've done no carb just to make sure the process is still speedy. I don't need carbs on my rest days. Mentally, I can handle those. I've done tons of no carb days in Dubai in a row. Like the odd 2 a week isn't gonna hurt at all. I'm on more food. I'm on 300 gram of carbs on training days. So my training is better. Orals I pulled for a week last week, and I've put Anavar Winstrol back in at 25 milligrams pre-training. So all that stuff's going to start coming back in now. I've actually pulled Tren 6 days ago because it's a weird feeling that I was doing meditation the other morning and I started nodding off during my meditation. I don't want to feel like that. I'll be sitting here and I'll be like, I just want to nod off. I don't think it's prep related. I think it might be the trend because I always get that on trend. I think it affects, although I had one night where I didn't sleep on it. I've probably been on it like when do we come to buy? Maybe 4 weeks now. And I've had no issues. I've been sleeping great still, but this last 5-6 days, I've felt the effects. So I'm going to pull it for about 2 weeks, and then I'll simply just put it back in about 10 days out from the show for the cosmetic effect. And then obviously I'll have a bit of Superdrol going in close to the show as well to help with training performance. I've got the Anavar and Winstrol going back in. I don't need the trend, and I need to feel as productive as possible for work and clients during this back end of prep. And also I don't want to be like on the way to the gym and like nodding off when Tony's driving. I haven't had that the whole prep because my sleep's been so good. So I put GH back in. I have had a few nights where I've done 10 IU just to make sure I sleep well. But even when I'm sleeping well at night, I'm still getting the nodding off thing in the day, which means my REM sleep is being affected slightly. And I did have a few nights where I didn't really dream that much as well. Whereas last night, because I've been off the trend 6 days now, so it's starting to come out of my system. Last night I had like 4 dreams and I slept really well. So yeah, GH I'm going to keep at 5 IU from now. Stack design remains the same with everything else, but I've pulled the trend. Still under a gram. Well, that's like 930 milligram injectables. The Anavar and Winstrol go back in. If I need a bit of oomph, I've got some Superdrol behind me or some Anadrol, whatever. Obviously, Anadrol's not really the best choice because it's got a whole body weight, but I haven't weighed myself because I don't want to stress. I'm just going to get peeled in 3.5 weeks. And then I'll probably weigh myself before that, but realistically, to sit in the high-end heavies, which I need to do to win my heavyweight class, and then beat the super and the light heavy and the middleweight, the overall for the pro card at Denmark. I think my physique is more suited to the heavyweight category. I've been told that by judges, coaches, and then you've only got to beat 1 super in the overall. You ain't got to beat 16 like I had to go up against the other day, because I was the shortest out of all the 16 guys. They're all like 5'10 plus. So tissue-wise, if I can squeeze into heavies, which I believe I can, because peeled, again, it's hard to say because I haven't weighed myself. I should be like 97. Then I've got room to gradually feed for 7 to 10 days carefully whilst maintaining scale weight. And then I'll still make the heavyweight cap of 102 on the Friday night registration before the Saturday morning show. So that's the plan. We've basically got 5 weeks to Denmark. It's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 5 weeks to Denmark and about 3.5 to 4 weeks of actual prep and condition. Then this will be the first time where I'm actually ready and I have 7 to 10 days to actually peak for the show, which I'll obviously run you all through. And that's pretty much about it. So it's really wild. Like some people will say, oh, you've not even won a class yet, or, you know, but you don't understand, like another 4 kilos condition for where I'm at changes the whole look. That can take you from 10th to 1st. Every pound that comes off you look vastly different. And when I am at my best, and when I'm on stage at my best, and I'm peeled, I'm dry, I'm dense, and I'm full, and I'm peaked properly, which I can do on my own. I'm still coaching myself all the way. I believe I can turn pro coaching myself. You know, all the little hurdles on the way, doesn't matter what they were, just let me get to 100% condition and you will see the final form. And if any man beats me at my final form, I'll shake his hand and say, you're absolutely unbelievable, because this was my best ever. Whereas when I've stood on stage before, I know, like, getting moved out in the supers, like getting first call outs and then getting moved out, it's not a nice feeling. But at the same time, I'm up on stage, I'm thinking, I wish I was 100%, because I probably wouldn't be getting moved out. I'd be hanging up there. Do you know what I mean? So it ain't a nice feeling going on stage knowing you're not 100. So this time I will ensure that I do. The thing about pulling out was more of a wobble in terms of I haven't really got much time to reverse before Dubai this year. We're going to Dubai in December with Tony family. I want a perfect reverse. I'm just going to have to be very regimented out there. And I just thought if I pull out now, I could do a better reverse. I can have an off season and go again next year. But to be honest, I've got everyone saying to me, you've got the size to turn pro. You just need to bring condition. And I'm closer to bringing condition now than I am growing for 6 months and then doing another 20-week prep. I don't really want to do that. I know that I can take it in Denmark this year, regardless of whoever turns up. This is what I believe. And like I said, if anyone comes and beats me, you got to shake your hand and say, this was the best me, so I will shake any man's hand who beats me at my best. I shake any man's hand who beats me anyway. I'm nice. You should never get people who've got like big egos and insecurities. They're acting up at these shows. Listen, you shouldn't be like that. Always shake a man's hand. I've gone up to all of the winners and said congratulations. You know, and that's the attitude you should have. But what I'm trying to say is, when I am at my best, if I do get beat, I know we were both at our best. Do you know what I mean? You know, I believe this was the best I could have ever brought, and I've still lost today. And I'll take that on the chin, and then I know on that day I was not good enough to turn pro. But I've seen guys turn pro this year who are not peeled. I've seen pros going up this year, lower level pros, who are not peeled. So when everyone's like, oh, you've never been peeled, you've never been peeled. Listen, a lot of people who are already pro or have turned pro in the last 6 months, they have not been peeled. They've been lean. So I think we need to stop this, like, oh, you've never been this, you've never been that. People are still turning pro, bringing 95% condition, not inside out. So, but for me, I'd rather bring inside out to make sure that I've done everything in my willpower. I would rather get inside out and prove to myself that I can and maybe not take the card than come in looking like I have done at the last shows and then maybe squeeze the card, like, and somehow manage to get it. That's just how I am. I want to bring, and I said to my grandma, although I said to my grandma I'm going to be the first man to turn pro this year within the first 8 weeks, I said to her, it is about the outcome. We're obviously driving for that, but it's not about the outcome solely. The outcome is a byproduct of bringing the best version of yourself, which for me is 100% condition at 10 days out, and then peaked carefully until the show. Landing in the heavyweights, winning the heavyweight, and then winning the overall. I've got everyone coming to watch me. My mum's even got a passport. My uncle's coming. All the stars are aligning. So the next check-ins you see in the next few weeks are going to be pretty sharp. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up there. That's pretty much it. That's like a good chat about all of the post-show stuff, how I feel about the other shows. Let me get to a few more kilos off of those photos that were posted 3 days out from show 1. Let me get over the fact that I had a wobble at the week. You know, it was a wobble, it was just decision making, I think. But all of the stars have aligned, like with my mum getting a passport, she's never been away. With her applying for that, she's going to get that through soon. Kim and Lewis, Tony's mum and dad, they're like, oh, we'll come to Denmark. I've always wanted to go to Denmark. You know, my best mate, you know, Gabe, Chaz, they're all saying, we're going to come support you. Jensen and Cara have been to my shows. I just feel like it's the right thing to do. And if we still don't win my pro card in Denmark, okay, fine. But I know that the level I can get to this season is that of a pro. And then if I don't take the card till next year or whatever, fine. But I believe I would take it this year. Otherwise, I wouldn't be carrying on for Denmark. So 5 weeks out, let's make the most of it. I hope you enjoyed the YouTube, guys. I'll see you again, maybe for another training video, but I'm going to try and do these 2 a week up until Denmark. So we can basically document the whole thing. So enjoy the rest of your day, guys, and I'll catch up with you soon.